It's very possible that in life you have observed yourself and you've come to realize that chasing sexual desire doesn't lead you anywhere. And if that's the case, you might begin to ask one or two deeper questions like, what am I really searching for here? I have this desire, but how come it's never fulfilled me? Right? I know there's something there that I seek, but what is that thing really? And why does sexual desire seem like it's that thing? Well, what I want to do is share with you a possibility, and I want you to be very open-minded. Now, you don't need to believe anything. It's nothing new. You just need to be nice and open and listen, not with your head, but with your heart and with your intuition, because that is what's going to pick up this message and not your logical mind. So here it is. The core truth that I want you to be very open to is that in life, you're not ever looking for sex, masturbation, or pornography. You're not ever looking for a rush, a surge of chemicals, or an orgasm. What you're really looking for is a profound sense of oneness, wholeness, and peace. And deep down, you already know this. But if for whatever reason you don't feel this is the case, I invite you to notice the following. Notice that the very act of seeking an orgasm is actually seeking the highest natural experience that you can possibly get as a human being, right? It's trying to get this peak experience, which aims for the most amount of pleasure possible. And we could ask, why is it that we're seeking these kinds of experiences, which give us such heightened pleasure and ecstasy, even though we know deep down that they're never going to fulfill us? Well, the truth is, and this is radical, the deep existential reason why you may go after these really high dopamine surges is because experientially, it feels like the closest thing you have to the divine. It feels like the closest thing you have to something higher, to something more profound. And what's very cool is if you raise your consciousness, shift your paradigm, and awaken, you can begin to see how sexual desire is actually, in fact, a desire for awakening and God. Now, to give you more of a glimpse of what this is and why this is, I want you to hear out the following. So, what you actually are is not human, but consciousness. You are consciousness living through a human mind and body. And what's happening here is you're doing your very, very best to get back to yourself, right? You are the universe, and you're trying to make your way back to oneness, wholeness, and unity. However, from the perspective of being a human being, pleasure and stimulating the mind and body, it feels like the best thing to do. However, this of course is not the case. So the deep metaphysical desire for spiritual connection is in fact there within you. But our approach, our method, it's totally off, right? It's stuck on the physicality and the humanness of sexual desire and sexual experience, right? The mind and the senses, they're only ever going to offer us dissatisfactory experiences, not the transcendent experiences which we really, really seek. So what needs to happen is you need to awaken, raise your consciousness, and shift your paradigm. And then you can realize that all of your desires are secretly efforts and attempts at you making your way back to yourself, your true self as God or higher consciousness. So the game that's being played here, it's a game of waking up. And it's realizing that all of your human attempts at kind of deep fulfillment, especially the sexual ones and the sexual attempts, are never going to do it for you, really. Because deep down, you seek the divine and not selfish human pleasure. And therefore, the move that you want to make is to swap out lust for spirituality. And then, maybe even only then, can you get closer to this powerful sense of wholeness, completeness, and unity. And really, there is nothing better in life than that feeling of being whole and complete in yourself. That is what it's about, man. That is what it's about. So as humans, we're in this kind of existential bind because we have this desire, and it seems like it's the thing to do. even though it's not the thing to do, and it's actually the thing to surrender, at least in your mind and heart. Because sex in the body is actually okay, especially sacred sex like carezza. But the reality is most people have quite a lot of work to do before they can become interested or attracted to that kind of thing. So this truth that I've shared here, it's something to just stay very, very open to kind of use your intuition to sense. Because it is pretty deep, it's pretty spiritual, and I totally appreciate that. But there's a reason I talk about this, and that's because this stuff, it's what's waiting for you further down the path. It's the deeper stuff which will, over time, become more and more true for you and more evident to you. So, that is it for me in this one. If you've enjoyed this video and you would like more, then my friend, please do subscribe.